afternoon, and evening, everyone who are watching us live across the globe. Welcome to Excellence, the 30 Minutes Talk Show. So, keeping personal safety in mind in case there is an emergency, wherever you're watching us now from, carry yourself to a safe location and call your local helpline. Now that done, I'm very happy to introduce you to our today's speaker and our associate, Dayanand Shinde, who is going to share with us how to win with charisma. Welcome on the show, Dayanand.
Thank you. Thanks, Swapnil. Thank you very much for the introduction.
Yeah, I'm going to have a brief introduction again further to this, Daya. So, as there's lots you are doing, and I need to tell everyone what exactly that is. So, very well known for his strategic leadership. Daya is a business transformation and executive coach who is helping leaders across the world to excel in their field of work. Also, with the Chicago Booth Exec MBA, he is managing his company called Trident Transformation, who caters into national service delivery in the finance sector, doing business transformation for several Fortune 500 companies. And along with that, there is running handful incubators, which are helping startups to kick off. And midst of all of these, he's getting ready the draft of his book, Win with Charisma. So you are definitely a very active man there, and we are really very happy to have you on the show. So welcome again on the show. So I would like to start, like, see, in our routine professional life, we meet people and who come across as very influential people, like very influential personalities. And it might be because of various reasons, like because the way they carry themselves, the way they interact with other people, their confidence and their knowledge. It's something like, they have like a magnificent aura of qualities which we adore in them. So is this what we can call charisma there? Is that what is charisma?
Yes. So charismatic leadership, it's a trait. And let me share the presentation, which will help, explaining it better. So
Okay.
let me know when my screen is available.
Yes, I can see your screen. Yeah, we can see your screen there. Thank you.
Now it is. Can you able to see only screen? Yeah, perfect. So charisma. Before charisma, like let me explain like what charisma is, but let me explain the business problem, why charismatic leaders are required, and they turn around the situation and help realigning or getting the business or challenges on track of where they need to be. So there are business situations, and on the left hand side of the slide I have mentioned about a star is the situation. The business situation could be a startup of a new department, new product, new company, anything. And turnaround is like a company or a project which is like not performing as per the expectation. That's a turnaround. Accelerated growth. So yeah, suddenly the market picks up, your department has a lot of work, or the product is having a lot of demand, then supply. So accelerated growth, how we tackle that, and realignment. So the company, department, or product doing well, but now not doing well, right? So and it need to be taken back to their level where they need to be. It could be cultural issue, it could be technical issue, it could be operational issue, sort of, or it could be market or in impact or economy. So these are the business situations, right? And what are the key challenges like happen? Like for recovering those, it need like three areas to look out as per my 25 years of experience. There is people, clarity, and execution. These are the key challenges in every business situations, right? So charismatic leadership, what it is, like simply put, on the right hand side there is a diagram where we know a person who knows the technical bit or the things need to be done, but who's likable as well. So a person who is more likable and more competent delivering what is required to be delivered, we want that person to be in that quadrant called lovable star, right? Desperately wanted. You can see on the right hand side. So that triangle we need the leaders to get into, right? So that's like little bit very easy, simply put example or definition of being a charismatic, right? Who knows and who likable, right? So charisma advantage, right? What is the advantage? As I rightly said, the business situation, a person who has a capacity, to build a strong corporate culture, getting the teams aligned and getting the things done. And how they do it, there are three things, right? As we said, IQ, EQ, and CQ. CQ is new. IQ is like, as we discussed, intelligence. Like, they are extraordinary capabilities. They know the stuff. They know how to get the things done. What is required to deliver that project, or delivering that a program or a product to the market and all. Then they have EQ, solid EQ. So they have, like, they are very good influencers. They can connect the people on the deeper level. Say within one meeting or second meeting, they just connect like that. The people will say that, oh, like, I know you for longer time. So that's the kind of a sign that yes, it has a charisma. He connected well on the deeper level, and he takes everybody on board, right? So he can influence the people who are saying, oh, no, I have this bias. So he can influence and get it on board. So these are the two things: connecting deeper level and getting the people, changing their bias, right? Shifting their belief and values, and motivate them to get the things done, right? Where we need to be. That's an EQ. And the third one is leadership, purely leadership, and it is required. So what the context is, suppose like a ship is like kind of sinking. So what need to be done? Like, exactly at that situation, what need to be done? Roll the sleeves, get the things done, and save the people, or save the company, save the product, right? Similarly, if there is no kind of a fire situation, what do? You don't micromanage that time. You don't roll the sleeves and get the, micromanage the things. Like, you step back and you develop your leadership team, because leadership is all about developing others, adding value to the others. And as simply put, success of a leader is depend on the people who are working for them. So in this case, when there is a less stress, step back. When there is a high stress, get into the micromanagement level, get the things done, save the team, save the situation, recover the situation. This is what like charismatic leaders do. And you see, like, what these three things I have mentioned, you go back and assess in your experiences and find out who was a technical manager who was lacking EQ, who was having an EQ but lacking IQ, or who's the manager who was having IQ and EQ but he was failing to do the CQ, what the situation calls for, and what type of leadership he should kind of practice. So that's like, very simply put, example for charisma. Over to you.
Yes, thank you there. That was amazing. So like contextual intelligence is a bit new. I know most of the people are not aware of it at the moment, but I completely relate with what you're saying is like, so thanks first of all, giving us sort of a breakdown, like how we really understand what charisma is, and all those examples which you have given. So like IQ, which is like intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, and the new contextual intelligence have to be actually all together in a personality, and that's where actually the charisma happens or is developed basically. Now, obviously, when you're trying to explain this, you have mentioned the key challenges here. So, and obviously the first one which you have mentioned is people. Right. So I just wanted to understand, like, how to effectively establish these connections and improve the networking with people. Can you just highlight on that, please? There.
Absolutely. So as I said, leadership is all about people. Yeah, we leader are in people business, right? People is everything for me. People in the sense the people work for you as a CEO. All the directors, all the employees are like working for him. So their success is like the CEO success. So if he wants to be successful, his leadership team, his people, his ground, people who are working on ground need to be successful. So that's like kind of a leadership focus. And before going into the people, let me give you some examples of charismatic leadership. So Steve Jobs was a charismatic leader, right? Then Elon Musk, you can say that he's a charismatic leader. He can get the things done. And then Churchill, personalities who are, we call it like charismatic leaders, sort of. So now coming back to people, hopefully is my screen visible? The slide?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. So let me start with the left hand side, right? A leader, like having necessary skills doesn't help. Like it is a short term, right? You can have the right skills to deliver something and you can deliver it, but that is a short term. For longer term, what you need a leadership skills, like characteristic, and that leads to the longer term success. So value, beliefs, your culture, your integrity, right? So how we build that actually, a leader need to build a trust. And what is trust? character, a good character and competence, knowing what you need. And the character means actually being authentic, being transparent, looking out of your team is like character, and connections, like, you have bigger network. That's what the helpful for building a trust. Very important, and it is a sticky. Right? If you have a reputation with someone, it is going to stick. Like, if a person does any mistake, like, it is not going to impact his kind of a brand or credibility immediately. So it has a sticky effect. And then how once you know the people, you need to make the people connect with you, help each other. So how they do it? Culture. So cultural integration is very important. So building a solid, efficient culture is really important for a company. Now, you might have seen that actually culture is the priority for executives. And that's the number one agenda for C-level executive who really want to add or make, kind of a difference in the industry. They want to take the company from one to A to B. They focus on culture. Yeah, rest is like, having the right people, right place, and building a right culture is very important. And network I just explained, and we will have more information on the next slide. So there are three types of network. One is your kind of an internal network, whatever, like the people, getting the people around you and getting the work done. And there is a strategic network. You need to know where the company is going. So strategic network, operational network, and your development network. So like you are the coach, right, Nilesh? Swapnil. So you are the development network. People need you or coaches, right, to develop themselves. They need to work on their operational network, the people who does the job. And the third one, strategic network. Who's my executive? Who's my leader? Who's my board director? What they want, like this company to happen or to do. So that direction is very important. So that network is really important. And as I said, like, respect is earned regardless of how you achieve the authority, right? So doing this trust, culture, and network, a leader can build a solid branding, solid credibility, and once the people are on board, magic happens. That is my mantra. I said, once the people are on board, magic happens. And this will help you on the right hand side. You see the kind of a quadrant where we want to get the leader, lovable star, on the right hand side.
Right. Yes.
So little bit on the networking, right? Like how we can achieve the network, how to achieve that people part of it. So on the left hand side, I have mentioned the two type of network. One is on the left is a closed network, right? Simply put, on the right hand side, you can see the star network. So closed network means like take a example of a team, right? A team of 10, they work in a same area, ignore the COVID situation. If they work together, they are in the same room, they exchange the information, they share the information, what they're talking, other person is knowing that. So if they're gossiping, everybody knows that. If they're like, if any information, news has been shared with one of the guy, everybody knows that. So that's a simply put example of a closed network. Now, that is good for getting the things done, right? Operational network. But if you want to know as a leader, you want to know what my marketing department is thinking, what my strategy department is thinking, what my operational team is doing, right? So having that star network is very important for a leader. So when I come to this networking slide, both as a leader, you should do the star network, you should do the operational, because you need to get the things done as well as know what is happening on the big picture in the company. So whether it is a company, product, industry, you name it, you can relate it to everywhere. When you say network, it could be your personal network, friends network, family network, or professional network. It applies to both. So that's the one. And how we, like on the right hand side, I have given you the two example. You need to start working on the network. So say suppose your network is like faint, it doesn't have a density. How you can increase the density, which is important. So how you can get to that position is very important. How we get that is on the middle of the slide. I have mentioned the process flow. So you analyze your network, right? You analyze who are there, who need to be there. Suppose you don't have leaders, mentors like you, or coaches, executives, network, people who can give you opportunities. You need to analyze that. Then remove the connections which are not required, or who are taking your energy, who are taking your time unnecessary. So, delayer or get rid of. You are the CEO of your network, right? Fire the people who don't help you, and keep the people who motivates you and who can get you towards your goal. Simply put, to your goals. Simply put, right? And then diversity should have everyone, right? You should not have only strategic network. We are all the big guys, but how about the people who need, who you need for getting the things done? So you need a diversity. You need coaches. You need operational people. You need strategic people. So that's the diversity. And diversity is not only the areas. geographic as well. You need people on your network from US, India, so you know what is happening. More you create the star network, you will have non-redundant information coming to you. Otherwise, what will happen? Closed network, same information is shared. So that's diversity. It is like a type of people and the places of the people, like where we are in company, outside company, sort of giving example. And then once you have that network, and this is not an overnight process. It will take weeks, months, years to build a very good network and identifying the right people. And once you know the right people, yes, I know the CEO of that company. He's very well. I'm connected every month, and he's taking care of. He's asking about me, how I'm progressing. So you have a right connection and mentor. So how you capitalize his time? So every month you give him a update, or every quarter you meet him for a coffee. Considering non-COVID situation. So this kind of how you capitalize and use his time and being in touch. So when there is opportunities, you will be the first person in his mind, comes in his mind, and you will get off a role. I'll tell you some examples. Some of the people, my friends, got the CEO role out of the blue, and we say, oh, how it is out of blue? I said, no, it is not out of blue. What we analyzed, the person was talking with the board of director for 20 years. He was in touch for 20 years, right? And he got that. Wow. They have a repo, they have a trust, and building a trust, as I said, it's sticky. Right, we talk about trust on the earlier side. It is sticky. It takes time. It takes time to build the relationship and cultivate the relationship, right? So that's the way we build the network. And on the right hand side, it's just a network effect. You can call it. You go into the company, you start working with some people, then you achieve something like a good result. Your manager gives you another project. What will happen? You will be in touch with new people. So your network increases, your kind of reputation increases, you're delivering more and more and more projects, so more people will know. So that's why like more accountability, more power, you can say power in the sense like a positional power, as well as more people and bigger credibility comes to you. So that's a circle. On the right hand side, I have mentioned the network. So exactly same, coming back to leadership, right? Building the network and networking is a continuous process for leaders. So they have to, it is not like, oh, I'll do the networking for the first month of the year and then I will just forget and I will go back to work. And what we'll realize at the end of the year, you need to get into a new job and you don't have a network. You are disconnected. So it is a continuous process for a leader to network and networking. So that's on the networking side. Very quick points.
Yeah. Okay, you're packing everything. It's just so much of information and very vital. I should say that. So this analyze, delayer, diversify, capitalize are really very, very important aspects of connecting with people and networking, which definitely will help most of our viewers and me as well. So, and amongst the challenges which you mentioned, so first was people, and I think the next one in the slide was clarity. So is this clarity now, understanding all the people networking and all this in the background, is this clarity just about the goal or where you want to reach, or are there any other important aspects which we need to consider there in this?
Yeah, absolutely. So clarity, yeah, very good point. So as I said, clarity is required on the bigger level. So on the left-hand side, just to explain the concept of the clarity, you need to manage yourself, right? You need to manage your team, and you need to manage your network. So just focus on the figure which is on the left-hand side. Managing yourself, how you manage, like how fit you are, right? How your mental health is, like what are the skills you require for your job, right? So who you go to. People will go to Swapnil, right? Like, a good coach, like a leadership coach, as well as a professional, for when it comes to health and fitness, he's a coach. So you need that for managing yourself. You need coaches, you need mentors, you need more people, friends, network. So that's your managing yourself, right? Personally, professionally, in that area. And then once you know that, go back to go to your team, like who's doing the job for you. So you are needing to manage that team, right? Managing your operational team as well. And then we need to manage the bigger network to understand more and more about like what is happening in the world, what is happening in the company industry. So managing yourself, managing your team, and managing a network. These are the three important keys. So first, on the right hand side, self-awareness. We touch about, what is my fitness goals, what are my professional goals, and technical and political learning, and it need a strategic and development network. Strategic means like where the company is going and your focus on to get to that goals on both the areas, professionally as well as personal coaches for your fitness goals, right? So that's the one. Simplicity. Now, in terms of your goals and company's goal, you need to be very much clear about where the department is going, where the company is going, and where you want to be personally. So that clarity on your goals, short term, medium term, and long term, what you want to do, right? It need to be very clear. And how you get that, you talk with your coaches, you talk about your strategy. When you say strategic network, means in a company, those are C-level, board level, to understand what the goals are. So that is a simplicity. So getting that understanding is a simplicity, right? And once we have that, how we can get the trust. So share those goals with your team, with your friends, with your family, right? When it comes to personal goals. So continuous communication and feedback with your team, and sharing that big picture is important. So that's the transparency. So transparency is very important for creating a trust, right? Like when the manager tells like this is what's happening on the board level and you are part of it, and we are how much kind of a positive impact we are doing, that will motivate the team. So that transparency created two things actually. It motivated the team members, what they are doing in a bigger picture, as well as it created a trust with his manager. So transparency is key, very key. So that's why I say clarity and communication is key for a leader throughout this process, sort of. So that I hope that understand the clarity. So simply put, clarity about your goal, personal goal, clarity about your professional goals, clarity about your organization goals, and continuously communicating that to the team whom you want to get the work done.
Yeah, it's definitely now the clarity is clear, definitely there now that it's you yourself first, then it's your goals, and then it's your team's goals. So like how you communicate it with your team, but obviously like that's a process, right? So you're assigning the goals and then communicating it to your team, and the next step is always is action. So and then like action is it never goes like as a smooth curve. It's like all ups and downs when we are actually doing any specific project. So how to handle these ups and downs? Like can you just explain that there?
Yeah, and that is like when I said people is very important, clarity is very important, execution. Getting the things done is also very important. So that's why these three parts are like equally important. So let me go to the execution. So execution is what? Like getting the things done. So there is a saying in strategy, right? Strategy formation or vision goal are 5%, but getting those implemented is 95%. It takes more time to get it done, right? So how we get it done as a leader, you need to, the leaders need to be more aware about leading versus managing. Managing is like micromanaging and just focusing on that. Instead, leader who lack the big picture management fails a lot in that execution process, and they were just like bogged down into getting some issues which need a greater attention by their subordinate than themselves, right? So micromanaging, then leading. So leading is like stepping back and managing the big picture. So why we are doing, what we are doing versus who and how will be done. Who and how is your subordinate or the team who's like best place to get the things done. And then prioritization, which is important on the big picture, right? Like this is immediately, I need to get this thing done. Otherwise it will going to create a lot of issues later on. So that prioritization and assessment is a continuous process for leaders. So leading and managing versus managing is key. Leading is always important for leaders. Managing, yes, delegate the work where you can, right? Instead of doing it yourself. That's the kind of a punchline there. And yes, momentum, right? So whenever you start a new product, new department, new company, you need to create the momentum, because momentum and getting it to the goal is very important. So momentum is the first place to get to the navigate and get to your goal. So it's a train, right? Like if it is a train, it takes time to start, right? But once it is in motion, it goes like 100 miles per hour. So that momentum push starting like and how we achieve those. So say suppose a new product, how to get that product in the market and getting more customers, right? If it is a department, how we can get some projects done, right? If it is a company, how we increase the install base and add the revenue. These are some examples. So getting the things, quick wins done as early as possible as you start the project, as you start a department, as you start a company, how you can get that momentum or push. So the train start rolling, that is the momentum. And once you have the momentum, it is a key. It's called actually by the leaders, momentum is the friend of leadership. Momentum is friend. It's like very closely a leader should follow that and creating that momentum, because that gives a positivity. Oh, something is happening, right? And people get motivated and they join the bandwagon, right? And in this case, it helps more building a credibility, trust in the company, or if it is your project or if it is your product department or company, people will follow more. The customers will have more trust, right? As you have more customers, like take example of Tesla, right? Like people will want like Tesla. Example, Apple. Right? Everyone wants to be Apple because they see the momentum. It is delivering. It is addressing the end users' need, and it creates more and more customer. And it's a wheel, like it's a network effect. You get more and more credibility, customer branding, and trust basically. And same thing, like, and the last point is like we touch upon on this contextually intelligent, right? Very important. When to micromanage and when to step back is very key, right? Because if the leaders do not do that, they will end up spending their valuable time doing managing versus leading. So clarity and communication is key in execution as well as the contextual intelligence. So these are the execution side, my top 3 points or punchlines to address the execution. So I hope this people, clarity and execution will help creating that momentum, creating the positive culture, creating your positive branding and credibility in a new company, new product, new organization, or new market. It will start get you a success, and it will put you on the path of success. So that's the kind of a crux of my book, Win with Charisma, which will give all the leaders, to get to this point, to get a momentum and get to their goal.
Right.
I hope that helped.
Definitely, there. Thank you very much. I can relate to this very, very clearly at the moment, because I'm working with someone who is a leader, and he is. I can see, as I'm working very closely with him, he is particularly struggling with leading and managing. So he's the CEO of the company, and as such, he should be on the leading phase and not the managing phase. But what happens is at times he really starts getting into the micromanagement of issues, and that puts off quite a lot of people in the team, which I can see. And I'm trying my best as well to guide him and help him out. But it's it's sometimes the intrinsic nature of an individual which actually affects all these decisions of the company. So is there anything we can do with that? I know, it's a real life scenario I'm asking you.
Absolutely, and this is good. This is good, and I'll tell you, you come across many scenarios like that, and I'll tell you the reasoning, maybe possible reasoning behind it. Say, suppose a CEO of a mid-range company or small medium company, he might be engineer at the in his previous experience, right? In a previous years of experience, right? So he came from that engineering background, doing it yourself, right? Doing it properly, nicely, with 100% accuracy and with the quality. Right. Yes. So that bias, when he becomes a manager, that bias is there. And that is what the leadership challenge is, to come out with that, right? And let the people do that and teach the people and develop the people what you want, then doing it. What that manager or the CEO will do, I said, oh, instead of teaching him, let me do it, because it will be quicker. It will be 5 minutes than 5 hours teaching them. But that is the mistake they are doing. Right? Instead of developing, they're doing it themselves. So what they're doing, they're micromanaging, they're getting into it. What happens, the person who is supposed to do that, he will be put off. He said, my manager does it, why I should do that? Why I should bother, right? And what you're doing, you're not developing your team. So you can't do that 10 times or 100 times, right? But if you have a team, that person, it takes 5 hours to learn, right? Which is a 5-minute job. But once you teach him, he will do 100 times or 200 times, or he will teach his team instead of the CEO doing that work. Small company. So that is what the biggest thing, leaders need to take a decision, right? What to delegate and develop, then doing it yourself, and step back and manage the big picture, because he doesn't want to address that one particular client, right? You need to get more clients. So you need to focus on that, then getting the things done for one client. Then going into the market and attracting many clients, basically. So that's the basically. He need to take a decision, step back. Otherwise, two things are happening. He's wasting his time and he's disrupting the culture, because people will say, oh, my manager does everything and he's micromanagement, and people will get into push attitude than pull attitude. We want the people to say that, Swapnil, I have a free time, what I should do. Give me, tell me what I should do. Then Swapnil telling the person, saying that you have to do this thing. So we need to create that positive culture, a pull culture, by developing, not doing. Sort of.
Right. Thank you very much. You have very aptly covered all the aspects, I would say, of a charismatic leadership in this very brief 30-minute talk show.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Daya, and thank you all the participants as well. And obviously we are running out of time, but I would just like to say that offerings, like if you want to come back to us, we do have various leadership programs, not only for charismatic leadership, but covering all aspects of it. So if you have any inquiries, you can come back to us on excellence@spnsslimited.co.uk, and we'll answer your queries and reply to your emails. So thank you very much, everyone, again. And I would like to close today's show by saying, like, you have to be more concerned about making others feel good about themselves than you are making them feel good about you. So charisma actually the result of effective leadership and not the other way around. So thank you and have a good day and enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. All the best.
Thanks, Daya.